All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello. My name is Darius Anucauskas, and I'm the Chief Market Analyst here at Markets.com. Look, today is Monday. Today is the 2nd of February, 2026. I wanted to pick up very quickly on gold and silver and some other precious metals, basically to see what's happening. And well, there's a lot of things happening. If you're not aware, then, well, it was kind of a bloodbath this morning, but now it's stabilized. But look, I'll talk about all that. Before we go any further, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, yes, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'm not going to disappear anywhere. So yes, interesting developments happening. If you're following metals, then certainly it is a very interesting scene right now there. Look, also just a quick mentioning of our Markets.com website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist. Ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into gold straight away. Now, look, um, of course, if you missed recently the couple of trading days, honestly, it was just spectacular to watch. Last week, we are going there. We're hitting almost 5,600. It reverses very quickly the same day. And basically, then it's a bloodbath and just kind of falls off the cliff. Not only gold, silver, of course, as well, and other precious metals like platinum and palladium. Now, look, copper to mention one of those as well. Look, if we jump purely from the technical perspective, right? I mean, we went for an all-time high. That's great, but then we basically closed below the previous all-time high. Now, this is what I keep on talking. This is one of those setups that I really like. Whenever we see something hitting all-time highs, it applies also on indices. It's basically when you go for that all-time high, normally you have like a major spike, and then at the end of the day, if it closes below the previous all-time high, there we go. Congratulations! It kind of indicates that there is a possibility for a retracement. Certainly, you can get caught out on some on special occasions like these, for example, where on Friday it initially was pushing higher, pushing back above the previous kind of that previous all-time high, that high of the 28th of January. And yes, then it kind of gave us a little false breakout here, and look at this, boom, boom to the downside. Well, look, certainly the market is going crazy right now. Is we can try to find different reasons for this. Some say that it was because of the Kevin Warsh nomination by the U.S. president, and because he's seen as a more of a hawk. He's been more in favor of rate hikes. Although, how can he be nominated if if the White House wants rate cuts? So maybe initially he would go for some rate cuts, just to kind of please the White House. However, at the same time, he's kind of seen, as one of those kind of who's, maybe later on he'll stand for rate hikes. Now, look, certainly this is kind of, one of the reasons, for his nomination, not to mention his connections to the, the Lauder family, with the Ronald Lauder, and who's the kind of the owner of Estee Lauder and the big contributor to Trump's campaign, his presidential campaign, before a few years, and certainly because the Ronald Lauder's daughter, she's the wife of Kevin Warsh. So go figure, right? Maybe it was promised. I don't know. But anyway, it's another topic. Anyway, but coming back to the gold and silver situation, look, another thing is that there was a bit of a change in the CME world, basically. So the CME group recently changed the commission structure. So how the margins are going to be calculated. So they went from a fixed margin to a percentage margin. So basically, if you want to hold contracts, you'll have to pay a percentage instead of a fixed fee. So that means that for contracts, if the more contract you hold, the more you'll have to pay. The pay it basically depends on the size of it. So and in a way, because this market is very over leveraged, especially silver market. Not silver market, but especially silver is very over leveraged because there's not enough of silver. Let's put it this way. That's why the kind of the whole point is that you need more money now to pay for those fees, and for some maybe it looked a little bit no longer profitable, no longer worth it. So, and also, why not to liquidate your positions at the high, and maybe go in a little bit later again. So this is what's happening right now. This is what we're seeing. We're seeing those liquidations, and this morning the price of gold here continued to slide, went all the way to that 4,400 almost. And the similar story with silver. Silver managed to reach this area close to $70 mark. Look, in just kind of a few days, from 120 to 70. I mean, that's a spectacular drop. I mean, every short seller's dream, right? So, congratulations to those who managed to capture this one. To those who have not captured this one and trying to figure out what to do right now, well, look, if we look at it from the fundamental side, still, I think that there is demand for gold and silver and copper and platinum and all those other precious metals, because we're not seeing like a major sell-off in the tech sector, because though that sector is the main consumer of these metals. And we're still seeing those data centers working, and yes, maybe less. We're seeing, yes, of course, Nvidia comes out, says that we're not gonna, we're not investing into AI infrastructure that much. This kind of forces everybody to rethink this, reshuffle. However, it's not disappearing anywhere. Still demand is there, and if we are thinking that this is maybe the time for a big reversal to the downside, I think that we are seeing it already. And I talked in one of my Markets Talk webinars before, basically when it comes to silver. I said that, look, we're establishing new norms, right, for silver. To me, kind of, this looks more like, like maybe we could see something like 50s. These are the levels that, I would love to see. However, I'm looking at the monthly chart here on silver. You can see that we're trying to recover right now. We're trying to push back up. And I think that there is a chance of a larger recovery to the upside. However, I would say, well, don't rush, okay? I mean, because look, I mean, if we look at this chart here, this is a monthly chart. So basically, keep your eyes on the close of last month of January. That was around 85.31. So basically, if we struggle to push back above the 85.31 zone, that could be like a little bit of an indication there's a moment for a reversal. However, silver bugs will probably say that we don't have silver right now in China is traded at a at a premium. So if you want to buy physical silver, you're actually not paying like 80 something dollars for it. You're actually getting like a 30-40% premium on top of it. So the real value is actually above the 100. Above $100. So in a way, that's why maybe the real price has to go back here, or the spot price has to go back to the 100 zone or above that. Again, it's it's a matter of debate, because what if, for example, everybody starts selling, let's say everybody starts seeing this right now, and the demand for silver actually drops because everybody maybe is fearful, because let's not forget, it's not only that institutionals are buying silver, it's also retailers. So that's the thing, and again, who's going to outpull who, we don't know. However, long story short, that's why I'm looking at this also from the technical perspective, in order to kind of maybe simplify my life. So if we do push back, like I said, above that 85.31, I will lean a little bit more towards the upside. I'm not saying that I'm going to become very, very like positive or something like that. No, I'm just gonna be cautious. I'm gonna aim for that 100 level again. It would be quite interesting to see if we could hit that, but certainly with the little bit of a precaution, I would say that's going to be my approach. So for now, I'm watching from the technical perspective, I'm watching the close of last month near the 85.31 zone. Coming back to gold, now gold, look at this. This is a monthly chart on gold, and this month has already proven, look, with a big tail to the downside here, showed us a big tail to the downside. Are we ready to go back to that 5,000? Look, I think we need to keep an eye on this hurdle here. This is the close and the opening of last month. Sorry, the close of last month, but the opening of this month. That's roughly around the 4,895 zone. So good potential target. Let's see what's going to happen today. This is, like I said, it's right here. So this is where we started the day. And hey, the question to me is right now, can we actually retrace all the way back here? If we do, then oh my God, now talk about speculation, seriously. Maybe then we could see actually this one reversing back up here and traveling, maybe back above that 5,000 zone or maybe a little bit higher. So again, keep your eyes on that 4,895 zone today. Let's see what's going to happen here. Being very careful right now. Like I said, it's a very strong reversal that we're seeing. Look at this. This is like, since the morning we're reversing sharply higher. And it seems like we're struggling to find, like a ceiling for today. Maybe the ceiling will be today, like this month's open or last month's close. Let's see if that's going to be the case. Now, look. For now, that's my game plan. Like I said, I'm being very careful here because, if we're just maybe seeing a retracement before the U.S. opening bell, and if that's the case, if we're just seeing that, like, we're preparing for another sell during the U.S. session. Then it would be quite interesting actually to see how far we could go to the downside. In general, low on the lower side, I do have this whole area right here around the 4,300 zone. I think it could be quite an attractive level. However, let's not rush into things, okay? But let's go slowly on this. We're very close to this 4,895, and then we'll go from there. I'll do, like I said, join my webinars for more details. Yeah, you can check out those, or you can just watch those recorded because it's also time stamped, so you can watch the specific instrument just if you're interested in that. So yeah, very quick note here on the gold silver ratio. Now I talked about this. Look how well it jumped. Look how well everybody started liquidating on silver, and basically gold kind of became again a little bit more expensive than silver, because we at one point last week we were just like hitting 43 times more expensive than silver and gold was. But now today, like from Friday, gold kind of took the crown again, and became like 60 times more expensive. So it's interesting. Like I said, it's interesting because we've been in these scenarios before. I talked already about this, and back in 1980, gold fell sharply against silver, or should I say, silver maybe rallied a lot. Back in 2011, silver also rallied a lot, and now we're seeing this here happening. Maybe we could see another drop back to the 50 zone somewhere, where let's say gold will be 50 times more expensive than silver. But again, I would say be careful, because like I said, this could actually reverse back up sharply. So but then we have to figure out, either it's going to be gold, it's going to be, let's say, like picking up interest, buying interest, or actually will both metals be selling off. However, silver will be selling off quicker, and that's why this chart could reverse sharply to the upside. Just very quick glance at platinum. This is again a monthly chart, seeing a little bit of movement here to the upside, of course, back retracement back up. So, but the most interesting is, and this is what I talked about in my sessions throughout January. This is the level that I was watching, 2000 kind of 300 zone, this area right here, because we were popping very much above that, and this is basically the highest point of 2008. This was the this is when the financial crash happened, and we rallied through that area. We hit that. We pierced through it a lot, and then look at this. In the same month, we just sold off everything, and all that happened just in one go on Friday. And this is what the interesting bit is, that I said that if we somehow fail to stay above that 2,300, to me that's a warning sign. And honestly, I don't want to be the pessimist or anything, but it's not looking good. Palladium, also good result here. Great move above the 38.2 on the Fibonacci retracement here. By the way, this retracement is from the highest point of 2022 to the lowest point of 2024. And also what I said, that look, we've tested the 50. We did retrace at 1.50% here on the Fibonacci on Palladium, but then we quickly dropped and we're now staying below that 38.2 even. So that's, like I said, that to me looks like a bit of a bearish indication. And again, although with Palladium, actually, I have my other relationship. I kind of like this metal, and I still see value in it, but maybe a bit of a retracement back down, maybe back to the 1,450 zone could be nice. And then from there we'll see further what we can do. However, like I said, for now, keep your eyes on gold and silver. These two are the big drivers right now. So continue monitoring this this market. And hey, look, on one hand, like I said, you have this idea that silver is still needed, and in China they're paying a big premium on top of it, on top of the current spot price, in order to get the physical silver. But if we suddenly see the market correcting sharply to the downside, the stock market, I mean, that means that maybe actually the commodity precious metals could also reverse lower, just because they have a very strong connection with the tech sector right now. And if the tech sector starts, falling off the cliff, then yeah, I think it could drag silver and gold after it, and of course platinum and palladium. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments what you think. This was just a little quick take from me on what's happening right now with gold and silver. So I don't know if you agree or not. Just let me know. But hey, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time in my next little video update. Bye for now.